Whoa-ho. Test, test. Need to make sure. Oh god, actually the audio's way too loud. Okay, hang on. Still tweaking things. 1 second. I'm being drowned. Still a little bit too loud. Okay. We're making progress. One. Where did I even click? No? Yes. Yes, there we go. Okay. Hello, hello. I'm Power Corvius, and welcome back to whatever we call this. Little live coding sessions. I've done research, and I have the fruits of my labor ready to display, which I will do as soon as I figure out my audio. Still tinkering. I changed a few things, expecting to have a different audio interface, but Amazon, Jeff Bezos himself, lied to me, okay? And it's now no longer coming when I thought it was coming. Let me make sure everything sounds good. 1 sec. Okay, it could be, the music could be a bit quieter. You could calm down just a little bit. Like negative there. I think there's a good range. So let's put it there and let's see how that goes. But in the meantime, I have a whole bunch to talk about and to show. But let's kind of recenter ourselves just for a moment. And what better way to recenter with an Obsidian note? Note-taking. It's a good way to help stay organized, or so I hear. So, trying to actually implement a little bit more of that into myself. Auto-reveal? I've never seen that option on Obsidian before. Interesting. Okay. But what I need is a graphic note. I need a drawable note. Where is that? Where would that be? Huh. Okay, also the audio does sound good. I have a little version on my phone that I listen to just to try to keep up with how everything's going. Oh, and the thumbnail needs to be updated too. Should I do that now? Yeah, I'll do that now. Why not? Although normally I do this. All my thumbnails I handle through Affinity Photo. Normally I'd probably do this while we're still on the BRB screen, but you know, we're playing it fast and loose today, okay? I've got a goal, I've got stuff to yap about. So, VOD watchers, skip ahead. Skip ahead, I don't know, 10 minutes? Bold of me to assume I can get this done in 10 minutes. 5 minutes, you know what? I'm gonna put that bet on myself. I'll be done in 5. Where is my mouse? There it is. And beautiful, okay, reoriented. I think I've got a grip on reality now. I say very boldly, before being proven catastrophically wrong. Wait a minute, I don't even need to open up. I'm reusing the thumbnail. I'm being lazy. We're phoning it in today, okay? Today's a phone it in day. YouTube, you're getting the same thumbnail as last time. I might change it later because I'd actually like to cut out a part of the stream to actually be a video this time around. Because when I was looking for videos detailing what I was doing in regards to making or working with Touch Portal, there weren't any real video tutorials going through stuff, so I had to ask around Discord, worked out a lot on my own through some source code reading. It was more effort than I really kind of wanted, to be honest, but it did actually refresh me a good bit on some computer science fundamentals, so I'm nice and warmed up and ready to code more and more. Where pictures? No. Why do I keep thumbnails? I have a separate account that I use for streaming as opposed to personal stuff, which, good practice, yes, but makes it a bit difficult navigating. I should just do all my professional work from this account, though. That'd be a good practice to start implementing. We'd cut down on faff time. Okay, upload thumbnail? Is that what I want? That is what I want. And save. Okay, we have our officially recycled thumbnail. Remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle. It's good for the environment and good for the lazy ones within us. Okay, enough dawdling. Enough dawdling on specifically thumbnails. Let's go back to dawdling on the specifics of getting Obsidian to work. Also, I need my Creator Studio. There we go. So, what I want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I'm still clicking on places I shouldn't be. I'm just getting distracted left and right. Okay, there we go, we're good. So, that's my admin portal done. Got all my personal effects set up. So, no, that was a lie. It's not actually set up. But if I click in via this way, yes, now I can see it. And it's muted too. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Now for stuff you can actually see. Interesting parts of the stream. I need Canvas. I have that plugin, right? Surely I have the Drawing Canvas plugin. I have every other plugin. Time to check what Obsidian plugins I fucking have. Okay. No, I don't need that license. Plugins. I do have the canvas plugin. How do I activate it? For how little I use the drawing canvas. Right click. Open new, move, merge. Backlink split. I could have sworn there was just a right click like create drawing kind of system. Oh. Okay, this is create canvas. Was canvas even what I was looking for? No, canvas was not what I was looking for. There's a different drawing plugin that's not on this version of Obsidian, but it's on my personal. Drawing plugin, Obsidian. Excalidraw. Okay, let's install that. Because I didn't think to do that before. Let's browse, get me that sweet, sweet Excalidraw, please and thank you. Oh. Is the developer Japanese? I'm looking at kanji right now. I wasn't expecting that. Wait, I clicked it. It didn't open up a link. It's just highlightable. I guess it's just another way to write what I'm guessing is Excalidraw in kanji, because I can't read kanji. Okay, we've enabled it. So now can I just make a new drawing? Yeah, now we can create a new drawing. Okay, we're in business, so. This is like a little layout for the tasks I had for the CnC project, and this is expanded dramatically. But let's go over some architecture before we go any further. Ah, my eyes! Light mode, no! Oh, that hurts. I apologize for the flashbang. Better. So, what we have right now going. Let's start off with our little basic Cyber Space Crusade, which is really just a Unity application. Crusado. Cyberspace croissants. Which is just a Unity application. So, we've got our little Unity application here. It's nice, it's dandy, it's wonderful. It's my very digital existence. What I wanted is, inside of this, to have a little machine called my CnC machine, which is just a little digital assembly line you can see here. Nice, beautiful. I haven't cleaned it up a little bit, added on, walls and windows for the sake of safety and experimentation. I love this thing. I'm happy I built it, but I need it to work. So we're gonna build a little CnC machine here. So how does this work? Well, we're not going to represent this in a diagram because it's not important to the overall architecture, but a small zoom in is, that's a spoiler. There's a small zoom in is, this is able to load up an object and then it's able to manipulate that object. I'm a little scared what's going to happen if I hit play, to be honest, but you know what? We take those risks. Okay, so there's my little digital portal UI thing there. It's freaking out. And it spawns in a little object. With this object, we can manipulate what happens to it using a package called feel. So I can trigger a positive effect, which, look at that, it makes it spin around. Oh my god, it freaked the fuck out. Why is that? Did I not? Why is it complaining about no reference exception on this? Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Feedback is still playing. That's something to sort out. I've not been working on this portion, necessarily. Instead, what I... Oh, wait. Okay. Tiny segue. I'm pretty sure I know why it's freaking out. It's because it spawned in this cube version, as opposed to like a little engine version of a machine it could spawn in. But it actually still creates the intended effect. So, long story short, it spawns in one of these kinds of prefabs. It loads in a pool of positive or negative effects it can have on it. So here I can like do the negative effect, here I can do the positive effect. And I need to clean up whatever is going crazy on these references, which I think is something to do with how these players are loaded and triggered if they're not being stopped properly. And I think it's still just attempting to access something that doesn't exist. Like, just like it tries forever. It just attempts to and then stops, but something to be fixed. Long story short, this CNC machine has two functions on it. It does positive things, and it does negative things, using feel to manipulate a little object in cute ways. Awesome. Amazing. But I want this to happen when I'm live coding. So when I'm using this green screen up here in order to actually manipulate and program things, I want stuff to happen. I want to be able to trigger this machine to do its positive and negative effects. So how do I do that? How do we get the positive and negative behavior inside this Unity application to trigger? One of the answers I got was using a Stream Deck, which I've honestly never used until now, but that seems to be the general standard for actually being able to manipulate behaviors from an external application on a piece of hardware. So of course Elgato Stream Deck is the most well-known version, but I'm broke, so I decided to opt for something a bit more tinkery, which allows me to flex my developer muscles, and cheaper. So I use, and some people might be familiar with a little spoiler you already see down there, Touch Portal. This is my choice of Stream Deck. So I have my little Android personal device plugged up to a charger down here, and it's got Pages. So the goal should be I can click on a button on my phone, and that acts as a Stream Deck. As you can see, I just turned on my phone in the app, so now it's connected. It should be able to react and trigger the effect that I want inside of here. Let me draw a little connector. So I need Touch Portal to talk to the Unity application, and then in turn the Unity application has, let's just say, I don't know, we'll call it some form of connector, listener, which we're going to fill in later, but of course it needs to be an actual program in my Unity application. We'll call it Machine Manager, because why not? It's a little too big. Can I shrink the font? Hello? Font settings? Where are the font settings? Let me make it tinier. No, not a thing? Okay, we're just gonna squeeze it in here. So when we talk to the Unity application, we're really talking to this machine manager that then is actually able to handle the positive and negative effects on the CNC machine here. Sounds simple enough, right? I thought so too. Thought being the important past tense word. And now the chat's actually getting in the way, so I'm gonna shrink that down further. And my little preview chat window is not cooperating. It's freaking the hell out. Which is a little disappointing, but fine. Well, it's smarter to chat via my other methods available to me. So, back to my TED Talk. I decided I want to take a swig of tea first. Ooh, it's still hot and warm because I actually used a thermos this time. That's delicious. Oh man, it's actually so good. I'm using a thermos from now on for brewing tea. I'm just used to it kind of getting cold, but it's remaining hot. A very, very nice plus. Enough about tea, though. This system, simple in concept, not so much in execution. Because you see, with Touch Portal, and really any other form of Stream Deck software, when you hook up some form of button or portal, that, especially for an application that's not innately supported by the Stream Deck software itself, you need to develop a plugin. So we'll call this the Cyberspace Crusade, the CC plugin. So really what happens is when you hit a button in Touch Portal on the app, so we'll just generically write out like phone app Touch Portal. what's really happening here, okay, just as a tiny aside, I need to be able to format this text. Where is the text formatting setting? Excalidraw. There it is. Why is there not a numerical size I can set this font to? Why does it have to be these buttons? I'll whine about it later, but really, when we hit a button on the phone app, it tolls out to Touch Portal, the main software. And in that software, via development of this plugin, we can create custom buttons that allow us to do unique things. So let's say the CnC plugin creates a button called Machine Effect. Machine Effect. So now when I touch this button, Touch Portal is actually a WebSocket server. That's what's happening underneath the hood here. This WebSocket server, and I believe its relationship to the phone as well, is probably a WebSocket server. Don't quote me on that because I haven't looked at Touch Portal source code. Just a guess, but it wouldn't surprise me. So this is probably a WebSocket server, WebSocket client application system. I'm sorry, there's a fucking fire truck. It completely threw my train of thought off. But this is probably a WebSocket server client relationship. We reach out, and Touch Portal itself is another WebSocket server, and one of its clients is the plugin that we developed. So the server sends a message out whenever we click this CnC effect button here to the plugin, dictating whatever we said this button should do. And that's via a very specific formatting that Touch Portal's SDK supports. Now, to abstract once more, what I'm using, because I'm coding in Unity, which is C# anyway, is a C# SDK for Touch Portal. More specifically though, Touch Portal has two C# SDKs. So if I go to like Touch Portal SDK, you go to their API documentation here. If you come down to SDKs, you can see they have one written in Java, which I believe is like the most robust setup version. You have a Python and Node.js one, quite popular. But under here, we have C# SDK and .NET SDK. There are two of these. This is something I didn't mean to click into that. This is something I struggled with when I very first started this process of just looking into what I'm even doing here, okay? One of these leads to a NuGet package page, the other leads to a GitHub. What's happening here? Well, if we look under the source repository for this is the C# SDK by Oddbear. This is a perfectly like serviceable SDK, which really just sets up a lot of wrapping around the core elements of a C# WebSocket client that we're writing. And it does what you need it to do. It provides some pre-made classes, some pre-made functions that allow you to stop worrying about writing the underlying WebSocket client code. And instead, you could just worry about how to react and handle Touch Portal's unique endpoints and formatting. It even comes with samples written in here, which is very nice. So you can see how things are laid out, like under actions, which is one of the core elements, and I think the only real element of Touch Portal I'll be using for now. This is how we set up that button behavior. So the button that I laid out in this little diagram here, this is an action. We're gonna color that red and just call it like, we'll say this is an action. A Touch Portal action. So this is a Touch Portal action we've designated from our plugin and given to the Touch Portal software. When we click this, what's actually happening is, let me grab this. We're sending this information off, and I believe Touch Portal has a nice little diagram that represents this. No, this, okay. We're setting it off, and this is just going to be a form of execution action. So we click the button in Touch Portal. We've given a TPP file, which we'll get into later, to Touch Portal to even know what the actions it has access to are. We click that button, it sends off an execution, and then whatever we want to have happen in the action happens. So from there, what's happening? What's going on here? Well, I'm sorry, I got distracted again. I was looking down at my little stream tools because I can't see the chat, so I have to look over at it occasionally just to make sure. So we're executing an action on Touch Portal here. We're running it into this plugin, which acts as a WebSocket client. So Touch Portal is the server, is sending information about this action that was clicked to this client. Well then, how does our little client here, our CC plugin, actually talk to the Unity application? I had a couple thoughts on how to do this, but I decided if this is already a WebSocket client, why don't I just reuse that role? So this is now a WebSocket client both to Touch Portal and to our Cyberspace Crusade application. So let's use a different color now. And now this machine manager, we now know what this was actually going to look like. This isn't just going to be any random manager. This is a WebSocket server. This is also a WebSocket server. Orient it like that. Yep. So this little WebSocket server, we'll color it. Oops. Nope. I want to change this one's color to blue, please. Thank you. Thank you. So now we're sending information down our little blue highway in order to let Unity know, hey, we clicked a button here. So this client talks to this client, which are both within the plugin, and then lets that Unity WebSocket server know, oh, hey, something happened. Make the machine do the thing. Press the funny button, machine. And it does so. This is what I'm thinking is the overall system I want to have happen here. Don't even need to really mention the fact it's a Touch Portal action, no. But I am going to keep the color coding. So this is the overall relationship we're now aiming to achieve with our efforts. Ooh, the line dynamically changes. That's so nice. We want to have Touch Portal as a WebSocket server, talk to the plugin we developed, which is a client, which talks to another client inside that plugin, which is now in service to the WebSocket server in Cyberspace Crusade to actually let our machine do its functionality. This is our broad architecture. I probably should have kept it broad and vague to start with, but yes, this is what overall is happening here. So click on a button on our phone, talks to Touch Portal talks to the plugin talks to Unity, and then Unity makes the machine do its good things. Little smiley face for extra effect. Yes, this is mandatory. Hooray. Or frowny face, you know? / frowny face. But we get a reaction, and that's what we're looking for. So now, the nitty-gritty. How does this actually work? Well, thanks to a mild amount of incompetence on my side, the Touch Portal work that I did testing on my personal account on this computer does not carry over across to my streaming account. So I actually get to show you what the process is, because all my little test Touch Portal buttons are gone. But this is basically a vanilla version of Touch Portal. Everything's normal, naked, basic. I did buy Touch Portal Premium on my phone, so I have access to unlimited buttons for my unlimited power. But this setup should more or less do whatever I need it to do. Now, the main goal of this stream, what are we doing here today? We're going to try to fulfill the latter part of this contract. So we're first going to do a demonstration of this part of the contract, so the whole phone app to Touch Portal to plugin relationship, to make sure the plugin's even receiving that information. We're going to be demoing that, even though I've already done it. But the goal of development today is actually going to be hammering out this half. So developing out the WebSocket server on Unity side and developing out the WebSocket client on the plugin side in order to ensure that these two can talk. These are the two realms of server client connections. We're going to be bridging these gaps. And a secret nice bonus, because what is development without a little bit of feature creep? A nice little bonus to have would be if I could managed to get a, what's the word I'm looking for? Right now, the V2 program I'm using is called Waterdough. So I've done a lot of effort in order to ensure my facial expressions are as nice and neatly dynamic as I want them to be. But I do have expression buttons, another feature that I have in Cyberspace Crusade, but I can only directly control, from Cyberspace Crusade when I'm playing it. I want to use this Touch Portal, WebSocket, Stream Deck, whatever system to also be able to control. That was almost a sentence I just said. I wanted to also be able to control my expressions. So, whole different system. We're probably going to be using the exact same client. Or would it have to be a different? No, it'd have to be a different client service. Okay. So yeah, we're expanding outward here. So let's make this diagram a little bit more in detail for what's also going to be piggybacking off of this hard work. So we have all this hammered out, and let's keep it color-coded to keep it clear what's happening. But I do also want the greens, the mean greens, to also happen here. Because I want to be able to control my expression buttons, built from the same plugin, but added as a different action system in that plugin, to also be controllable. So this red line can come down to here. Now this can also spin off a green arrow into a new green bubble for the expression WebSocket server. Actually, I think all of this is going to be routed through the exact same WebSocket server. It should be routed through the same WebSocket server. It just changes the generic message I'm passing along, really. So really, the divergence doesn't happen in the plugin, I don't think. I think the divergence actually happens in here, where it either goes up to be part of the CnC machine, or it goes down to be part of the expression system. I'm thinking that's how this should work. Because you see how it's less steps, it's more minimal? Why can't I just reuse the exact same client I'm building here and just change the nature of the message that's being sent? And I'll even admit, I'll color the CnC machine portion of this blue as well, because this was originally built just for the CnC machine portion, but it grew beyond that. So we can divert into other systems, and who knows how many other systems I want to be able to control via Touch Portal through here. So we can dart, dash out, do whatever we want, and branch out. But this is what I'm thinking as a bit of architecture. I think this looks good. This is clean. Just move it there so you can see it in its full, beautiful sized glory. Let me modify what I'm looking at on my OBS because I have big red lines everywhere. So, let's get started. After a quick word from our sponsor. I'm just kidding. The sponsor is my thermos of tea that I have available to me. Yorkshire Gold brewed with vanilla cream. Very tasty. Drinking out of my company branded thermos. What company? You can figure that out on your own. It's not that hard to guess. I'm curious, what's it look like when I'm scratching my nose? Because it's like in front of my mouth, so it's just preventing my mouth from moving, I guess? Okay. Ooh. Nice. So, let me go over what's happening in this plugin. Because in order to even give Touch Portal the requisite actions it needs to press, I have to lay all that out in the plugin. So, as a reminder, we are using the Mapinero Touch Portal CS API, which is labeled as the .NET API on their SDK page. If you click the link, it's going to lead you directly to the GitHub, and the GitHub has a lot of good information. This is really kind of an extension of what the other one, the Oddbear portal is, because there's a lot of really good wiki information on how each sample works. I believe it even links to the wiki of the original if it's like, hey, if you want more information, look at this version's wiki. Yeah, which is just the wiki from this version. And it's nice to look at. It could use with some more documentation, but hey, here's hoping this video acts as a small source of documentation for people who might get stuck in certain places. So something to note too, if you want to have a nice time, an easy time, you're going to want to download. So I personally just downloaded this entire repository as a zip, but you're going to want to download the sample package, because the sample package does provide a lot of really nice things, like this entry TP file, which I'm using as a format from the TP file here. The TP file is what's actually given to Touch Portal. If I double click this, is it going to open it in a text editor like it should? Okay, I can't find it, apparently. Even though it is on the folder. So let me add existing item. It should just be in... Oh yeah, it's in the plugin installer. I changed the name of this folder for a reason you'll see later. But this TP file. It's marked as a VLC file just because TP can also be a form of like video partition. And normally that's what I was working with before for media encoding, but TP is also the file format Touch Portal likes to use in order to label its information file. So really, this is just a text file, which, yeah, if I add it as such, then open it, this is what it is. It's really a JSON file in format, but it uses .tp as an extension for Touch Portal's unique goodness, which, who am I to question the unique GUI goodness of Touch Portal, which saves me the effort of even having to worry about mobile development in this little dynamic dance of ours. Oh, hey digital design, I'm doing well. Hope you are too. I'm just doing a little bit of coding. I was happy I actually looked over at chat, okay? Because my little double window for looking at chat is broken. But I derailed myself. Yeah, you want to use the default little entry TP that comes with the Touch Portal CS API SDK, which is why you want to just download the entire sample package, like what I did in this example. I literally have it, I think here, called sample utils, which is what that CS proj is. That's what this is. Does it come with a CS proj program? No, it doesn't. Interesting. Okay, so I guess it's just called sample here. I could have sworn it came with a project file that was also called sample utils. Is that actually only something that comes in the odd bear version? Because for a full disclosure as well, I actually started with the odd bear version and got that fully working. The packaging portion of it, where I actually downloaded this as like a compiled binary as a NuGet package, that was a bit iffy, and I just found more and more I needed to download like actual chunks from the samples to get it working. Like I needed, if you wanted to use the odd bear for a reference, you would probably need to download the sample util entry copy and like the touch portal.actions as a minimum for whatever you're doing, because it just has a lot of what, it's a great template. Like the template should really just be this, and yes, that's why it's called the sample utils proj, because it's just whatever's in this sample utils project. That's the right term. There's a lot of terms thrown around for like package project, so forgive me for a few misspeaks. Yeah, so in this case, it's called the Touch Portal SDK.sample CS proj, but in odd bears, it's just called the sample utils proj, and I'm pretty sure these are the exact same. Only this is, again, more opinionated with this entry copy. You really don't need it. I commented it out because, again, it's a bit more opinionated than what I needed. Yeah, because I have like written in here. This is if you wanted to specifically dynamically change and restart Touch Portal every time you do a bit of development or a change. I don't need that. I can just manually like update the entry TP file whenever I change it and upload that update to Touch Portal. Another difference, this already comes with a program.cs, assuming you're going to run it just from here. I just had to copy over the program.cs from the actions example. The logging extension is nice to have. It's just a nice to have. What's in this? Yeah, this is almost the exact same layout for how the program file works. Plugin info. This is again like related to the entity copy. The logger extension, I believe that's again part of how it wants to handle logging. sample plugin base is just an example plugin. So again, I just recommend going through Touch Portal CS API. It's a bit more simple in order to have everything you want and everything you need all wrapped up into one nice little space here. Wait a minute. Is my Twitch working? It says I'm streaming, but I don't think I can see my own stream. Wait, where's the stream? Sorry, just now I'm going to derail entirely just to see, is my Twitch stream actually, like, working? There's a stream manager. It says I'm offline. Oh no, the Twitch one isn't even working correctly. Hang on. Go to the Twitch app. Am I live on that? Restream, what are you doing, buddy? It says I'm live on Twitch. Weird. It showed up for a second and then the screen's gone. Huh. And the audio's live though, so the stream is live. I just can't see my own Twitch stream. Oh, that's weird. That is weird. Okay, maybe if I try turning it off and on again, we're gonna toggle the Twitch stream. Oh shit! I think it hook up to the YouTube too. YouTube, are you okay, my beloved? Okay. So it does look like it's working on YouTube. The Twitch, I have no status for. It says the broadcast has ended, which is good. And then it looks like it's trying to connect again. Give it a little refresh. Yeah, no, it's got visually nothing. Wait, I can look at the VOD. See, does the VOD have video? My channel. Videos. Okay, so the VOD does have video. Weird. So weird. Okay, if I look at it now. Again, like, I think the actual live, does not look like it actually has video. I'm having difficulties playing it at the least. Okay, I'm done fiddling. The Twitch fiddling is over. Yeah. Wait, I haven't set a category? Oh my god, my stream doesn't even have a category. Alright. Bam. Yeah, the tech category now. Why am I getting a Cult of the Lamb plugin update? Oh lord. Okay. Nope, I'm done. I'm done fiddling. I always lie to myself when I say I'm done, but this time, for realsies, okay? Realsies. Alright. Oh, new song. Oh, this is from Shenmue. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, okay, back to the actual task at hand, which I don't even remember. But it is what I'm working with, and that's I'm working with the Touch Portal CS API with some little helper functions I grabbed from the ooh, I like the way that music dropped. With some helper functions from Oddbear's like original version, just called the Touch Portal SDK. Really, you can just get away with just using the CS API version. I recommend only using the CS API version. And of course, you'll want to probably download the samples folder and maybe the tests as well if you wanted to test that. It's just for actions, that's something you can only really test normally. So tests are great, of course, if you want to try out different like client commands, general commands, events, or fixtures. In my case, I don't need these right now, so I'm not using them. This is all the actual source code for the package you'd be downloading, and the actual package looks like this NuGet package labeled here. So you just copy in this CLI for the NuGet package, or you would look up Touch Portal CS API. And for reference, I just created like an empty console application for this plugin. So if I go to like manage NuGet plugins, you were to look up just Touch Portal CS API, it should come up. Yep, it's this one. You just download and install that. So for specifically how my program.cs file works, because I always love starting from program.cs, it's so informative. This has a couple of other plugins inside of it, or it's working with a few other packages in order to make my life easier. So just a little peep at my package dependencies. Don't look too hard, okay? Is things like Microsoft configuration extensions, Microsoft configuration JSON, some dependency injection, logging, console logging, configuration management, the works. And this is just for very nice things where I can use like dependency injection services. So if we go line by line for what's happening when this plugin first runs, it runs the configuration builder. This, it allows me to take in a file called appsettings.json, which we'll get to later, as like a configuration file. Then we activate a service collection, and then we begin. I just realized this could be, I can optimize this right now. By optimize, I just mean moving it to one line, because the way this line is written, it's different than the way this line is written. Quote me as everything breaks by me making that change. Would be very funny. So service collection, it makes a new one, and then it immediately runs the add logging function. We configure the logging to then add simple console logging and add a configuration section for like the level of logging we're going for, which is what the configuration root has, which is, oh, we're getting like, what level of logging is this? And it's, I believe, default set to warn. Then we have the service collection. We're adding the Touch Portal SDK. We're adding the configuration root. This is something innate to how the plugin works, and we're adding the core plugin features to our dependency injection system. Then I'm adding two plugins. I'm adding the CnC Machine plugin, which is a custom class I made, of course, which handles the portion I described here, the little WebSocket client that actually listens to whenever information comes down from Touch Portal. And I added this Unity WebSocket server, which I'm actually going to refactor, because my initial idea was inverting this, where the plugin would be a server and then Unity would just purely be the client. But I decided just keep the plugin a client in all regards for its existence. So this portion is actually going to be what this class is. So instead of calling this the socket server, it's going to be the Unity WebSocket client. Bam, refactored. Then, of course, we handle building all the services. And at the very end, we've decided we're going to grab the CnC Machine plugin service and then run that. What does running that mean? It means we actually attempt to connect to our target parent server, which is why we're running connect, and that's going to grab the actual WebSocket server and attempt to connect to it. And then it does a little debug instance where it tries to do a change of values, and it sees how this handles the idea of choice updating, which is a more specific feature for Touch Portal. Honestly, I don't need it. What I do run too is I'm actually having the, originally when I was going to have this orchestrated as the plugin being both a client and a server, I was going to have the client service call down the server service to run that it would test, but we're going to change this architecture right now, as a matter of fact. So what's going to happen is we run plugin.run, which is cool, it's dandy. But we also want our Unity client plugin. And we want our service provider. By the way, I have Copilot installed. Honestly, it gets it wrong more often than it gets it right. But it does help for autocomplete. Like right now, this is still wrong. I'm literally just verbatim copying what's up here. Like my service collection dot. Let's see if we can fill it out. Build, server, provide. Nope. Oh, I was wrong. User error. What I do want is the server provider dot get required service. Yep, the client. And then of course, it even guess it. Well, I want to run the run function. Or I guess in this case, the start function is what I called it. Yep. So the start function in Unity WebSocket Client is going to be the process. Right now, it's the process of starting the server, but all of this is going to be different soon. So actually, I just want this to run its test log function. None of this is needed right now. And originally, I was again going to have a plugin in order to handle like creating the WebSocket server, etc. All of this is being changed now. So I shouldn't even comment this. I should delete it. Make it clear what's happening. Okay. So now we've got all of that saved up. All of our code is in a nice, readily and easily accessible place. But how wonderful they are. But we need to, in order to actually allow Touch Portal to see what we want it to see, we need our entry TP file. So as a quick breakdown of what's happening in this file, we have information on the plugin itself we're uploading. We then provide a whole new set of categories. So in this case, we only have one category set we're giving it, called my CNC Machine Actions. And in that category, we have specific actions we want to give it, which are the progress action, the malfunction action, and then these little template actions that were given when I just grab the plugin template. Really, I don't need these. I don't even need the layout for what they're doing. I can just look to the example TP given in the SDK if I wanted more information. No reason to keep them around here, though. Example, this entry TP, just like the default boilerplates that come with this for how an action can be structured. And as you can see, if we open up Touch Portal right now, let's make some buttons. So I want this to be a button. Let's just grab a random icon button. This will be the progress button. And right now when I scroll down, there's nothing that I want in here. They've got general, streaming, media, content creation, home automation. We're going to add a MISC tab to do the things that we want. So we're going to add that as the malfunction button, and this button can be our... No, the other one will be the working button. This will be our malfunction button. What looks like a malfunction? I'm thinking the bus, just it's so big, you know? Actually, why don't I just use thumbs up and down? That is the easiest iconography I could possibly use. But I know what these mean immediately now. So, let's give Touch Portal something to actually use. So we're going to open up our file structure. Specifically, we're going to open up where our entry TP is. Could I open with File Explorer? I could only open it. Can I open this with File Explorer? No. Really? Okay. Okay, we'll just open up one of our pieces of code in File Explorer. So what I've got is, this is the folder for the whole project. We have our sample entries here. And again, sample entries is just the little templates I'm inheriting from to make my life easier. It's like this sample base plugin. This comes from that sample entries folder. And it's just very basic things that a plugin's gonna need. It's got like all the event handling functions, there's virtuals, it's an abstract class you inherit from. It says, oh, what is this plugin ID, which is how the WebSocket knows this message is for this plugin. It's got the logging, it's got the client it needs. So this is the actual structure for the WebSocket client that's being wrapped up and handled underneath. It's got everything you need. So I want to actually let Touch Portal be able to see the actions available to it. And that's done via this entry TP. So we're inside of our little project here, and inside the CC plugin installer, there's where our entry TP file is, along with an app settings.json and a plugin config. These actually have like no real relevant information in them yet. Eventually I'd like the app to have like configurable settings that go in here, as well as the executable would go in here. But in a normal plugin example, you would provide app settings in here, the executable, so the executable binary of our whole plugin would also be placed in here. And then the process would be, we zip this folder, so we just use 7-zip, which has the most reliable version of like compression zipping, into a .zip, and then we rename the extension from .zip to .tpp for Touch Portal plugin. It says it might become unusable, but it's totally usable, because Touch Portal knows how to handle this. We're also going to change the default application to open this with to Touch Portal. Where's Touch Portal? Look farther up in this PC. Okay, time to find Touch Portal on my file structure. I believe I put in the F drive plugins, Touch Portal, Touch Portal, Touch Portal. I know Touch Portal's under plugin. Program files. Still not there. Okay. Program files x86. Yep. Okay. Third time's the charm. Touchportal.exe. So now Touch Portal will automatically run when I use this kind of file. This is just an easy way, so I don't even have to bother like dragging it into Touch Portal or going inside of Touch Portal settings to do like, oh, settings, install plugin, or something like that. So the moment I just double click on this TPP, it'll prompt Touch Portal saying, do you want to install this plugin? And the plugin name is there. I just hit yes. And if you hit this page, that means it has successfully recognized what this plugin is. And of course, I built it, so I trust it. So I'm just going to hit always trust. And now it's been successfully imported. If I go to settings, we can now see, hey, there's my Cyberspace Crusade plugin. It's now in here and readily available. If it has back and forth communication, especially like if you needed to say start an executable service, you should turn this on. But in my case, the executable is not actually located in the plugin I gave Touch Portal. Touch Portal can't run any code involving my system yet because I'm still testing it. What is cool though, and this is like the recommended way to test it on the SDK's little GitHub, is, remember we have our buttons here. I am going to just run this program directly from Visual Studio. So as a quick little bit of posterity, I'm going to hit build, rebuild solutions. We're building brand new executables and binaries and all that. It succeeded and by building these two projects. And now it has created the little exes inside of the bin release folder. So now I'm going to run this. And now my little Touch Portal plugin is running. In a normal example, Touch Portal would automatically run this executable the moment I hit that little toggle button, because I would have bundled the executable with it. But since I'm testing, I want to be able to run it in a whole separate window without relying on Touch Portal to have to handle its startup and stopping sequence. Let's say I create like a bug or I'm playing around with something that breaks it. I don't need to worry about Touch Portal breaking. But now, Touch Portal can already talk to this application. Because Touch Portal is the WebSocket server, its server's always running so long as, oh, my face stopped for a second. Since Touch Portal is the WebSocket server, it's always running. It's just available. And since I've structured this application to be a WebSocket client, you can see it has the startup messaging, and this comes built in just with the SDK for, okay, it's trying to reach out to Touch Portal, it sent the pairing message, it did the handshake, it received the pair message, and now it is officially connected to the Touch Portal WebSocket server. So now the client and server are in connection with each other. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to click, I think I can just click on the button and have it actually do the same effect. Nope, okay. Well, actually, no, it didn't, because I didn't also hook up the button. So now, because I installed that Touch Portal plugin, I have this new MISC tab in the CnC Machine actions. There's progress, there's malfunction. And again, progress and malfunction are literally written out right here for the progress item and the malfunction item. And remember, the ID used is how we actually identify which plugin is which. So when I am about to send this WebSocket communication, it's going to use this plugin ID to identify, okay, what plugin in Touch Portal should be listening to this? Should this plugin react in this way to this communication? The plugin, which is, again, the little console we're running right here, this little console here, it's able to tell a message is meant for it because it's running both services, the Unity WebSocket client service and this CnC Machine plugin service. And I have directly set the plugin ID to just be a string here. This is a small pitfall to be aware of for how the SDK is written. The SDK's default system for setting up this plugin ID, as you can see, I've written it to be an override. I believe the default version, and this could just have been how Odd Bears was written, so the original C# one, not the .NET one. Why am I even guessing? I can literally look this up before I even give this disclaimer. So here, let's take a look at sample plugin. Okay, so yeah, sample plugin actually does do it correctly by just stating this to be a laid out like string, and you are expected to be able to override this laid out string. That's nice to know. In the Odd Bear version, it was a bit more weird, where the default way this was set was through plugin info assembly name, so it would name it after the DLL that was generated when compiling. But there are intricacies with C# with how this plugin name is generated, where it can have spaces even if there are no spaces in the original CS projes file name. If I come back to Solution Explorer, this has no spaces. So because of that, the DLL generated would put spaces there automatically for readability. But that's not what you want, because then it's going to break this connection. So ideally, you just set the plugin name as a string in the plugin itself here. I've written this to be an override because I put it as a virtual member inside of the sample plugin base I inherit from every time. So this, I wrote in this part of making an abstract string. So a little intricacy for how I've written mine that you may or may not run into in your example. Remember, read the documentation. That's the king of all, and use the Touch Portal CS API version. Actually, is that the exact... I'm sorry, now I'm getting a little distracted. Is the sample plugin the exact same version as sample plugin base that I'm using? It is not actually the exact same. It has a lot of overlap, but especially on like the send message. Yeah, it has an entirely different send message function, which can send updates to a whole bunch of other stuff. On info event, there's a bunch of stuff on this change. Actually has a lot of default information written in. That maybe I should be using this version's, the SDK's version of like sample plugin instead. There could be an argument for that. Maybe. We'll see. For now, how mine works is pretty straightforward. Let's get back to the demonstration. So here we have our little plugin already running in our CLI. Let me grab Touch Portal. Let's add in, this is now the machine progress event. And it's going to check plugin name. It's going to find a match. Save and close that. We're going to add malfunction. Save and close that. So now if I grab my phone and turn on Touch Portal, it's going to connect. I can now see these buttons. And now take a look at the WebSocket console. There we go. I had to hit enter because I was actually stalling the console. When I click my little up button there, bam, it says it receives the WebSocket message. And then because the WebSocket message is equal to progress, I just make it say the word progress, which is detailed in the plugin here. Or on action event. If the action ID is the progress one, say the word progress. If it's malfunction, say the word malfunction. So I just tested progress, let's test malfunction. Yep, they both work. So I can click on my phone, which is my Stream Deck, and have these little reactions. You know, just fucking spam it. It can go as much as I want. Perfect. So that's the perfect test use case to show, okay, the button click is working. But now, am I speaking a little loud? I might be. I'm also getting a little stuffy, which might make my voice a bit louder. Now I need to actually handle a connection between my Touch Portal Cyberspace Crusade plugin and the Unity application. So again, everything I just showed you is this red part, where I can click on my phone and send a message to Touch Portal, then it sends it to the plugin. Beautiful. We've shown that that part works. Now we need to fill out this other half, which is, okay, when an information is received, the Touch Portal plugin needs to talk to a different service, which is the Unity client service, and then send information to that client and then handle its running. So I think I had made a choice a little earlier on in development early on in this specific stream, where I'm like, does this plugin need to have the Unity WebSocket client as a child service? And the answer is yes, it does need to have it as a kind of child service. So this service will run independent, so it shouldn't depend on this service succeeding for this service to run. Because let's say I have what I was describing earlier, where I want the expression system, where I detail out the expression system. Well, expression system is going to require a different plugin, and thus a different TP or additional TP files in order to talk to this fundamental like Unity WebSocket client service system here. So I guess to even illustrate this a bit more, we're going to add in some more colors, because yay colors. Give me a custom color here, okay? Give me some fancy. Ooh, I like this for my machine. No, I want purple. I think purple's better. For this use case, I don't know if purple's always better. But purple's a nice color. Can't hate it. So here, purple for that specific use case, green for this use case. Actually, you know what? Red would be the apt color, because it's for this use case. And then we're now going to use green as another function of this plugin, but a different service this plugin is handling. Oops, nope, that should be white. Now I want a green circle for expression effect. So it could be, I don't know, me yawning, it could be a shocked face, it could be a sad face, it could be an ahigo, whatever the fuck I want it to be. And it should correspond to the expression effect plugin I develop inside of CnC plugin. So the overall CnC plugin project will connect to this version. Bam. Then these both should call into the Unity WebSocket client service. Both of these send off their little information to the WebSocket service and either come down to the expression system, because the message I chose should go to expression, or it should go up to the CnC machine because the message I chose was a progress or malfunction message. This is good architecture, I think. I think this is a good layout for what I want. Oh my god, this is such massive overkill. I just wanted a funny machine that did funny code things. Then I ended up down this rabbit hole. But you know what? We're here. We're here, we're not up to it. Because it actually made me bother dusting off making a damn UML graph and coding, which is honestly a little bit fun. I'm into this. If you ever notice, this is my masochism. So with all of that said, the development to happen is going to be the blue part, and then we'll work on doing the green part. Because the green part's easier to do, assuming the blue part is down pat. But I'm going to take a little break. This has been the informational portion of this stream, where we've gone over the broad strokes of what we're going to do. So when I come back from break, one of two things is going to happen. Either we immediately hop right into the code, and then we start working on the WebSocket server part, or I say I deserve a break and I play my Marvel Rivals dailies. I don't know which of those is going to happen. One might happen. The other might happen. Who knows? But either way, I'll see you when I'm back. We'll see you then. I have returned, and I have made my decision. My decision to play Marvel Rivals. The Rivals urge has won. So here's how I'm thinking I'm going to balance this out. We're going to remake the YouTube stream, and we'll pick up coding a little bit later. But I am happy that it has been done. Oops, wrong. Hey guys, I'm currently chilling out in a diner, you know, just vibing here. I found this random space diner, and that's what I've been doing my recordings out of while my ship currently gets repairs and maintenance. That's why you've not seen me in it for a bit. Look, the machine takes a lot of parts, and sometimes, some days, I just want a nice cup of tea, a cup of joe, and some... What the hell are those? Those hash browns? Whatever those are, I think hash browns. Why does YouTube Studio want to use my microphone and camera? No thank you. Lol. Let's go back to a little digital presentation. There we go. But yes. I will do a little bit of remodeling, so YouTube, thank you so much. We're going to swap over to Marvel Rivals. I'm going to remake your stream. Well, I don't know if I want to disable the channel. I just want to kill the stream. There we go.